Welcome to the PI Guy Case Studies and Lessons Learned. My name is John Morris. I am a professional private investigator in Colorado and Wyoming. In today's video, I'm going to let you in on a secret. This is probably my worst surveillance video ever, folks. Freezing cold in the summer and long distance video make for a horrible video. But before we get into the details, click that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot. The setting for this surveillance was another small rural town. This was another injury claim for workers' compensation. The subject lived in a quaint little house in a quaint little residential area of a quaint little town. She was a tough little character. She worked a lot on vehicles, hers as well as other people's. The stationary setup for me was great. I had a shady spot to park under, about a block and a half away from the residence, had great cover, was blacked out, no one could see inside my car. I got a lot of video of the subject at the residence. Then she got into one of her old jalopy pickups and she left. The chase was on. It was about a 20-minute drive to the nearest city where I followed her to a junior college. It turns out she was taking some classes there. Now, there wasn't a lot of places to park where I could watch her vehicle and the approach to her vehicle without being seen by other students as well as the college security guards and teachers. I had to park a good distance away, probably I would say 3 to 4 blocks away, but I could see the entire parking lot with my camera zoomed in. Now, it was the middle of the summer, mid to upper 90s, and pure sunshine, no clouds. I didn't have my car on to save gas. I had no idea how long she was going to be in that class, so I just sat there in full sun, cooking inside my car. I had plenty of water with me and a 12-volt fan and some wet cloths that keep me wet, so it wasn't absolutely horrible, but it was pretty darn hot. Now, before we go into the details of what happened when she came out, go down below. Click that thumbs up button for me. Hit that subscribe. That really helps the channel out a lot. Now, here she comes, along with a bunch of other students. I knew I had to act fast. I had to get ready to follow. I was a few blocks away, so that was going to be a challenge in itself, and I needed to get some video. So I start my car, I grab my camera, and I zoomed in and I started shooting video. She stayed in that parking lot talking with her friends for what seemed like forever. It was probably 20 or so minutes. Then she got into her pickup and she left. Now, this happened 3 days in a row for me. What a great setup, right? Easy follows, you know where she's going, no problem, until I got done with the case and I looked at my video. You see, this case was right after the case that I had discussed in my previous video with the farmer who asked me if I was watching his wife. I'll put a link for that down below. On that case, I ended up sitting about 1.5 miles away from the residence, zoomed in on that residence so I could see if I could see any activity there. Now, to zoom in that far with a digital camera and see anything, you need to be using digital zoom. My camera had 60x optical zoom and 2000x digital zoom. The problem with digital zoom is, well, it's digital. What digital zoom is basically is where a small computer in the camera looks at what it sees optically and tries to enlarge it digitally. The more zoom, the more pixelated it gets, but it doesn't always look so bad on that little bitty screen on the camera that you're staring at. To further enhance the issue was a huge shake in the camera. It took me a while to figure this part out. If you move the camera at all while you're in digital zoom, it really makes the video bad. Now, if you remember, it was 90s. I was sitting in full sun for hours in my car. When she would come out of the school, I would start my car. She usually talked with friends for 15 to 30 minutes, so I was shooting video the entire time I was zoomed in. Well, when I started my car, the air conditioner turned on. Now I was drenched from sweat, and I'd been putting water on my head and my body to try to keep myself cool. So when that air conditioner got to kicking on, I started getting cold and I started to shiver. The slight shiver combined with the zoom made for the worst video I'd ever had. Now, I had 3 days on that case and I had to turn it into my client. They were impressed with some of the video I got, but they weren't impressed with all of that where I was digitally zoomed in at all. They did give me another day on the case and I was able to get some amazing video after I had learned some very, very valuable lessons. The first lesson I want to talk about is always check your camera settings prior to going out on surveillance. paying special attention to things such as your zoom settings. The second one, never use digital zoom for evidence gathering. One, it generally looks horrible, and two, it is a digital reproduction of an optical image. In other words, it is a computer-generated pixel by pixel video of what the camera thinks it sees. Now, I do use digital zoom from time to time for recon work so I can see far away, but I carry a second camera with me and I use it for that type of work, not my regular surveillance camera. Lesson 3, pay attention to the elements and plan ahead for changes accordingly. Like when I turned my car on, I should have had the air conditioner off so it didn't instantly freeze me while I sat there drenched in shorts and a t-shirt. And I'll give you a quick lesson number 4, folks. Check your video at least every day. Look at your video and see what you got and make sure that there are no problems with it so you don't have 3 or 4 days worth of video and then find out that you had a problem with your camera. Now that's it, folks. I hope this video was helpful and insightful. Please go down and click that thumbs up and that subscribe button. That really helps the PI Guy channel out a lot. And remember folks, stay safe out there.